Mr. Bunny Limuel together with my two pink bunny ears right here. And today, we're going to discuss about what public and what stakeholder is. So without further ado, let's start. So, first of all, maybe you would ask why this lesson is important, right? But as a future administrative professional and a public relation officer, you will be part of an organization in the near future. So it is necessary for you to be able to learn and be familiar with different types of stakeholders and customers as well in a business. So first of all, we need to distinguish the difference between what is a stakeholder is and what is a public. So according to R. Edward Freeman, there is a wide point of view and a narrow definition of a stakeholder. In a wide sense of view, he defines stakeholder as any group or individual who is affected by or can affect the achievement of an organization's objective. So probably, these are the members of a particular organization that has a role or responsibility for the business to achieve its goals. And on the other hand, he states that stakeholder or stakeholders are any identifiable group or individual on which the organization is dependent for its continued survival. These are the people that has a great impact on the processes that the organization needs to run smoothly. And did you know as well that you, as a future employee in an organization, together with your boss, the staffs, and other employees in the business, as well as your competitors, is part of these stakeholders? While the organization is continuously working to achieve its goals for its long-term success, it continuously offers whether a product or services to the market or to the people. The campaign of the organization as well as its message is brought out to the public. And according to Laurie Wilson, there are three types of public: the key public, the intervening public, and the influentials. First up, the key public. The key public are those whose participation and cooperation are required to accomplish organizational goals. A big part of the key public is the customer. If the organization or a business creates products and services which main objective is to gain sales and expect great income, then of course customer is the main target for its success. They are determined by their demographics and active involvement in the operation of the organization. The second one is the intervening public. These people pass information onto the priority publics and act as opinion leaders. Majority of intervening public is the media. Media includes television stations, newspapers, magazines, and blogs and other social media platforms as well. Media can greatly influence the public in terms of its decision-making whether to support or agree to the campaign of the organization. As a future public relation officer, sometimes the most effective channel to disseminate right information is the media, simply because it has a lot of ways to inform public in only a small amount of time. But do not expect that right and exact interpretation of information are being diffused by media. The last type are the influentials. These are the public that has a great influence to the public itself. It can either support or go against the effort of the organization. The influentials can also be determined by their social status in the society. Some of these are doctors who pass information on to patients and teachers who pass information on to students. But be aware that these people can be intervening public as well. So in general, public are people or other groups outside the organization that has a potential interest and impact to the organization. So after learning some of the things about public and stakeholders, let's dive deeper into broader understanding of what stakeholder is.
One, two, three.
Do you know who the different stakeholders are and what are the relationships to an organization? To fully understand, I'm going to present to you the model developed by Grunig and Hunt. The model is divided into four: enabling linkages, functional linkages, diffuse linkage, and normative linkage. The enabling linkages are dominant stakeholders who have some control and authority over the organization, such as stockholders, Congress, state legislators, government, regulators, and board of directors. The functional linkages are those that are essential to the function of the organization. It is divided between input functions and output functions. The input functions provide labor and resources to create products or services. The output functions consumes the product or services. The organization has a moral and legal responsibility to those stakeholders that also increases their priority. The relationship of employees is also critical to the effectiveness and efficiency of the organization. Diffuse linkages include stakeholders who do not have frequent interaction with the organization but become involved based on the actions of the organization. These are the publics that often arises in times of a crisis. Diffuse stakeholders are usually situational and their relationship is temporarily. Because they lack the power and direct influence of other stakeholders, they will attempt to affect the organization by working through members of the enabling or functional linkages. Normative linkages are associations or groups with which the organization has a common interest, share similar values, goals, or problems, and often include competitors that belong to industrial or professional associations. Normative linkages, such as competitors, have little direct power over the organization but are considered a non-supportive threat by Savage. To sum it up, the diffuse linkage stakeholders would be different according to the situation, but the enabling, functional, and normative linkage stakeholders are likely to be constant. The organization has a moral and legal responsibility to those stakeholders that also increases their priority. The enabling and functional linkages have the greatest priority as stakeholders because their power, dependency, influence, relationship is frequent and critical to the regular operations of the organization. Normative linkages as competitors are considered not as groups that have a stake in the operations of the organization. The diffuse linkages do not require as much attention and have a lesser priority except when they react to an organization's action or policy. Urgency is the variable that increases the priority of any of these stakeholders.
1, 2, 3.
First, I just want to ask you if you have heard about the strategies to promote goodwill in business. Well, if not, better keep watching this video.
Hey guys, welcome to the new vlog of Fun Learning channel.
Wherein today we're going to learn new things about promoting the organization's goodwill.
Hope you like this video.
So let me define first what is strategy. Strategy it is the direction that the organization chooses to follow in order to fulfill its mission. In other words, it is a plan of a company or organization about how to develop and deal with changing markets so that it will specify how the business will allocate resources to support production, marketing, inventory, and other business activities. There are 5 uses of strategy according to Henry Mintzberg. He calls them 5 P's of strategy. They stand for plan, pattern, position, perspective, and ploy. These 5 allow an organization to implement effective strategy. So first, let me start with plan. A plan is a consciously intended course of action. It means that a plan has to be made before possible actions are taken, and it's also important that the plan is followed consciously and effectively, because a plan allows goals to be achieved. The second one is a ploy. A ploy is a specific maneuver intended to outwit an opponent or competitors. It is also a strategic choice to use a ploy. Organization can surprise their environment by implementing a plan that nobody saw coming. The third one is a pattern. A pattern representing a stream of action. Patterns are about strategies that have been implemented before. With this, an organization have to think whether these patterns have become an implicit part of your strategy. On the other hand, there are strategies that achieve their intended result. So in result, the organization is likely to make those strategy again. By becoming aware of such pattern, you are able to include their strength in an environment. The next one is position. A position is a mean of locating an organization in an environment. So this is the interaction between the internal and external part of organization. It is important to consider carefully in advance how the organizations want to position itself. What will its identity look like? This can contribute to developing a lasting competitive advantage. It gives the organization a firm place in the market. The last one is perspective. A perspective is a integrated way of perceiving the world. A strategy also about a larger perspective. It is necessary to find out how different audiences perceive the organization. How do employees regard this employer? What do customers think of the organization? What is their image among investors? All these individuals' perspectives can be the source of information of an organization. They can use this to make targeted strategic choices. So let me proceed now on defining goodwill. In the world of business, goodwill refers to an intangible asset. It is the value of business brand name, good customers, and excellent employee relation. It is more than an asset. Having goodwill within your organization going to your customer can create huge impact or success to your organization, because by spreading goodwill, you are creating trust and relationship with your customer. There are factors contributing to the creation of goodwill. Number 1, expectation of future economic benefits. An organization believes in the power of having goodwill. They believe that it becomes a way to have customer connection. And when there is trust, it becomes the way for the company to have the confidence to create new products and services. It also attracts new customers and will have the possible to merge with other businesses. The second one is excess business income. When an organization has its goodwill within their organization, it creates best value for their reputation, customers' relation, and excellent employees, meaning they are satisfying these people around them. Satisfying these people can result to continuous patronage to their products, so there is a chance of accessing their income. The last one is going concern value. It is the existence of business assets ready for use and generating income. The value is created because the company can effectively apply its financial resources and equipment, manpower, and management to generate economic benefits for its owner. That's all our video for today. Please don't forget to subscribe and watch the next topic about types of goodwill.
Thank you for watching!
I'm trapped in my mind.
Now, I will be doing a read art using the types of goodwill. I will also discuss to you its meaning and the moral basis of goodwill. Types of goodwill. Institutional goodwill. This is related to the company, its position in the marketplace, and how well it serves its customers. Institutional goodwill is an intangible asset arising from the brand or trade name, reputation, customer loyalty, location, products or services, and the other factors not carried on the enterprise's balance sheet. The business institution itself will acquire many of the intangible assets such as customer lists, software technology, scripts, operating procedures, website, computer systems, trained and assembled workforce, and trained or brand name, etc. These types of intangible assets make up the firm or institutional goodwill. Income tax perspective. These intangible assets can generate value over and above the entity's net asset value, thus producing goodwill value. Professional practice goodwill. This relates to professional practices such as engineers, accountants, lawyers, doctors, and architects. Professional practice goodwill is an intangible value that arises from the efforts or reputation of a business owner or other individual. It means that the value is only associated with a person working within an organization and not the business itself. Practitioner goodwill is one of the two components of professional practice goodwill. This is related to the reputation and skill of the individual professional practitioner. Practice goodwill is the second component of professional practice goodwill. It arises from the practice itself, its track record, institutional reputation, location, and operating procedures that make it an effective service provider that can produce superior income. The moral basis of goodwill. The morally based efforts on the part of the responsible organization can lead to mutually compatible responses from external recipients, which are customers, suppliers, competitors, agents, etc. All of this hopefully will lead to intrinsic and extrinsic benefits. The net results of the various positive ethical outcomes attributed to a specific firm provide that firm with an enviable resource on which to capitalize. The value of the firm's moral character along with other attributes can result in a market value of the firm that is greater than the firm's net assets, which can be interpreted as goodwill.